What's up, everybody? It is going to be the most insane newscast of your life. We're talking about Joe Rogan versus the legacy media. Now, I can't guarantee that this video will survive on YouTube. So, if it gets nuked, just go to my website, maxfreedom.news. You'll find it there. It's called maxfreedom.news. You'll find it all. It's going to be amazing. So, let's just dive right on into it. And I'm just like, head first. So, it appears that the majority of my viewers are 60 and older, which is okay with me because that means I could just start eating into CNN's profits. But before we dive into the real meaty content of this video, I gotta do a little history of Joe Rogan so the old people can know, who Joe Rogan is. Joe Rogan, well, most famously is known for being on the Fear Factor, the host of the Fear Factor. And, well, Joe Rogan can explain it better himself, you know what I mean?
Here is your next stunt. You guys are going to have to eat these African cave-dwelling spiders. We have randomly selected today's order, and Cassandra, you are lucky number one. You ever eat a bug?
Spiders.
Oh, these aren't regular spiders.
Even uglier than
These
regular
are all
spiders.
Mac Daddy spiders.
They have little claws.
Come on, grab one. How about that one right there? That was a
No,
good one.
I don't like the big one.
Come on, you can do it. Come on, Cassandra, you can do this. You want her to eat it? Come on, you can do this. They're cheering you on. Just reach in there, grab it, put it in your mouth.
Grab
Just do
it, put it in my mouth.
That's it, just do it. Grab it, grab it, grab it. There you go, that's it. Do that thing. Grab it, grab that, grab that. Do it. Just show it. Just fight it and chew it. Fight it and chew it. Do it. It's right there. It's right there. Look, forget about it. Grab it. Grab it. Grab it and keep going. It's all in your mind. Grab it. Grab it. Grab it. Grab it. Do it. There you go. Get it. That's it. Get it. Get it. Do it. Do it. Just chew it. Just chew it. There you go. Fight it. Do it. Swallow. There you go. Get your head up. There you go. That's one. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Good girl. That's the way to go. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how.
And then Fear Factor, what was the work schedule like for that one?
3 days a week, but constant. We did, 1 year, 34 episodes, I think, maybe 36.
That's a ton.
Oh, we just shit it out. It's like while America was eating, we were shitting on that plate.
Which they should, though, because that show was so clean, right? You find contestants, you set up the game.
It was very
bang,
easy.
Bang, bang.
It was very easy to do initially, but then the second version of it, when it came back in 2011 or something like that, that version was a real problem because that version they were ramping it up. The stunts were way more difficult, way more dangerous. I was freaking out at a couple of them. I was like, "This is getting rough." Like bungee jumps off of fucking helicopters in the middle of a canyon, launching people on these bungee jumps. Like there was some crazy shit.
I think the eating stuff always got to me.
Yeah.
People eating the bugs, I was always like, how much money did you win on that show? I can't remember.
You could win. Well, there was a couple of shows where people won $1 million.
Damn.
But even when you win $1 million, you don't really win $1 million. You win $1 million before the government comes in and steals everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, is there something for winning it on a game show? Like, do you have some more taken out because it's a winning or something?
I don't know. It's a lot. Like, if someone won $50,000, which was a normal week, they would really take home 34.
Damn.
The government doesn't eat any animal dicks.
Damn.
They don't jump off any buildings.
No.
And they just steal 16 grand from you.
I remember the animal dicks now. That was my favorite.
We did that in Griffith Park.
Eating animal dicks in the
camped out,
park, dude.
served up some animal dicks.
Okay, so Joe Rogan also did a bunch of comedy. He still does comedy. I went to one of his shows a few years ago. It was a fucking blast. But this is a funny old little bit he had.
On, huh? You doing all right? Yeah. Life's going pretty cool right now, but I gotta stop dating bimbos. It's like the biggest problem I have in my life right now. So I date too many bimbos. But bimbos are good to date every now and then because they're low maintenance, right? If you date smart women, they ask tough questions. You got to give them real answers, right? Date bimbos, they ask like real easy questions. You can tell them anything, right? They're like, what are you thinking about? Corn. Really? What kind of corn? The kind you put on your door for Thanksgiving, but you never really eat. Oh my God, you're really deep, huh? Kind of girl, when you look deep in her eyes, you see the back of her skull. She's just standing there, wavering in the breeze. Those big bulletproof hairdos, right? Big, huge, cockatoo from hell looking things. She got so much hairspray in her hair, she's literally carving a big path through the ozone layer. She's walking down the street, just people walking behind her dying of skin cancer. Planes are crashed into her head. It's like, Tony, there's a plane stuck in my head. You're not doing nothing, all right? Take the T-roofs off the eye rock. You know my hair can't fit in there. Get the stepladder out and pull the bodies down. My freaking hair is dented. You're not doing nothing. Bimbos, they all want to get married, though. That's the problem with dating bimbos. It's like the mecca for bimbos is marriage, right? It's the promised land, right? It's so true. I can't even hear the word marriage. It comes out of a girl's mouth, my brain just shuts off. You know, it's like, marriage, click. Every word after marriage is... I think if you do get married, you shouldn't live together. That's the key to happiness, right? You know what I'm saying? Just get married, live separately, right? At the end of the day, I love you. Love you too. Talk to you tomorrow.
So that was a bit of his comedy, kind of give you a taste and stuff. And then he started hosting the UFC fights. And, well, yeah, he explains it better than I do. I don't even know why I'm here at this point.
Thanks, Bruce. I'm back here right now backstage. I'll be interviewing the fighters as they come out of the octagon, and I'll also be previewing the fights, the final fights in each weight division. I'll be talking to the fighters. We'll find out who's injured, who's going to be able to continue, and who's going to go in if we need an alternate. Anything we need to know, as soon as I find out, you'll know. Back to you guys.
They started putting on shows in Vegas, and I would go there with my friends. They got me free tickets. They reached out, and they would try to get celebrities to go sit there so that it would, because they were very small at the time, and they were hemorrhaging money, and they were trying to build it up. And in talking to Dana White one day, he I was talking to him about fights going on in Japan. I'm like, have you ever seen Sato fight? Do you know do you know Sakura? Do you know this guy? And I was bringing all these names. And he was like, do you want to do commentary? I'm like, I don't want to do commentary, man. I'm here to get drunk and watch people kick the shit out of each other. I'm not here to work. And he talked me into it for one show, a UFC 37 and a half. It was a show that was on one of those Fox sports networks, smaller networks. And I think it was the best damn sports show, period, was a part of it. I did that, and the rest is history.
Wow.
And then I did like 12 of them for free. Like the UFC didn't have any money. They were hemorrhaging money. I mean, there were rich people that owned it, but it was not a profitable venture.
Yeah.
And I said, look, just get me there, get me my friends' tickets, and I'll do it. And so that's how I operated for like over a year. And then I just became the commentator. It's just weird.
All right, so that was his UFC. This is very like bare bones, okay? So there you have it. That was like a little summary of Joe Rogan. He's a very talented man. He has a lot of skills. He does a lot of things. And then on top of that, he started the almighty Joe Rogan podcast. which I have a little snippet of his very first podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been very interesting. We are up to 379 motherfuckers. I want to thank you for tuning in. This is we're gonna do this much more often now that I have this set up. And I finally installed this webcam that I bought like 5 fucking years ago.
You gotta get your internet updated. You get a new HD.
I'm gonna get my internet updated.
They have HD cameras now. $59 at Amazon. Look for the
For this?
Yeah. Well, no, you don't. That's actually an old camera now.
That's not good.
No.
But it looks okay.
Yeah, it looks okay. But see, it's not in HD. You can be broadcasting HD right now.
But isn't that like more bandwidth for people to download?
Yeah, but not when you have 20 megabytes.
Oh, but
crazy.
It doesn't
internet.
Affect them. It affects them downloading it. It only affects us
Uploading.
upstreaming.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Once I get the internet, do it. I'll make it HD so you can see how ugly I am.
As you could see, his podcast was very raw. It wasn't very good. As a matter of fact, let's take a little. Here's a screenshot of his YouTube channel back in 2013. He only has 34,000 subscribers. Almost as many subscribers as I have. Oh, wow. Not a whole lot, He's like very unknown, I'm not blah, blah, blah. Jump over to 2021. He's got 11 million subscribers. Like, his growth was exponential. Like, boom, just through the goddamn roof. Interviewing people, joking around, all that good stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, because he used to live stream his podcast, and he started getting in trouble with YouTube, like YouTube's algorithm. So he stopped live streaming, and then he would like edit out the controversial stuff and then like post it. And eventually he came to the conclusion that it was more safe to be on Spotify.
Hello, everybody. I have an announcement. The podcast is moving to Spotify. I signed a multi-year licensing agreement with Spotify that will start on September 1st. Starting on September 1st, the entire JRE library will be available on Spotify as well as all the other platforms. Then somewhere around the end of the year, it will become exclusive to Spotify, including the video version of the podcast. It will be the exact same show. I am not going to be an employee of Spotify. We're going to be working with the same crew doing the exact same show. The only difference will be it will now be available on the largest audio platform in the world. Nothing else will change. It will be free. It will be free to you. You just have to go to Spotify to get it. We're very excited to begin this new chapter of the JRE, and I hope you're there when we cross over. Thanks.
So he moved over to Spotify in hopes to avoid cancel culture. Because you have to keep in mind, cancel culture. Okay? Everyone's getting canceled because everyone's offended by everything. And he ended up offending the transgender community. And a bunch of Spotify workers were all like, this is just unacceptable. And he's like, well, screw you.
Now, everybody's, and this is probably, overinflated, all that Spotify stuff. Is this just complete fodder?
They have literally said nothing to me about it.
Right.
Zero.
Right.
It's never come up. Now, is there someone at Spotify that's complaining about the Abigail Schreier episode? I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure there's someone that's complaining about it. Is it a transphobic episode? It's not. They're wrong. They're not. It's nothing to do with that.
Right.
It has to do with the fact that human beings are actually malleable. We all know that. That's why cults exist.
Right.
There's a thought process now that if you're talking at all about trans people, you have to be 100% supportive. You can never question whether or not children should be allowed to transition, babies, hormone blockers for prepubescent children. All this is madness. Like, here's the question: are there some people who are horribly sad that they transitioned and regret it terribly? The answer is yes.
Right.
Are there some people that are very happy they transitioned and they're much more happy in the gender of their choice, how they feel, than the gender of their birth? The answer is also yes.
Right.
Because they vary wildly. What Abigail's talking about in her book, Irreversible Damage, is large clusters of kids who are mostly kids that are socially awkward. Many of them are autistic. Many of them have never had any praise at all in their life. And they transition and they get all this praise from people.
Right.
Because it is, right now, it's in vogue.
It's a social contagion amongst that subset of people. And they're at high risk they're easily influenced. And
that was the problem. The word contagion was one of the things they had an issue with. Because they called it deeply transphobic. It's not transphobic.
Because contagion is also used to talk about diseases. So that's not right.
But it's
language.
social. But it is language. And this is the problem: is that they look at this and they say this is openly transphobic. It is not transphobic. It's not transphobic.
No, it's not. I think there's got to be space for conversation. And I think that a lot of this, rigid, allegiance to, listen, we all know that trans people are in many cases are much happier when they transition and they have better, productive, fulfilling lives. I don't think anybody does. Like, there are people that don't want that, but they're probably a minority.
But here's
probably a small minority of people.
Hold on 1 second. I'm out of beer. I had to get more beer. I'll be right back. Before I continue this newscast, boink, I have to follow the YouTube guidelines concerning you know what. So, let me plug myself into the Matrix. Ivermectin is not a cure for COVID. The vaccine is the one and all source of cure for COVID. If you want to cure COVID, please, 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 please get vaccinated. Windows operating system 95 needs to be updated to Windows 11. Bill Gates. I don't know what the fuck that was. That's so the YouTube's algorithm doesn't fucking strike me. Let's man, that took a lot of energy, dude. Let's watch a CNN. Or no, not CNN. What am I talking about? Joe Rogan got sick from COVID, and then he posted a video on Instagram. It blew up, and everyone lost their minds.
Hello, friends. So, I got back from the road Saturday night, feeling very weary. I had a headache, and I just felt run down. And just to be cautious, I separated from my family, slept in a different part of the house. And throughout the night, I got fevers and sweats, and I knew what was going on. So I got up in the morning, got tested, and turns out I got COVID. So we immediately threw the kitchen sink at it. All kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything. And I also got an NAD drip and a vitamin drip, and I did that 3 days in a row. And so here we are on Wednesday, and I feel great. I really only had one bad day. Sunday sucked, but Monday was better. Tuesday felt better than Monday, and today I feel good. I actually feel pretty fucking good. That's the good news. The bad news is we have to move the Friday show in Nashville. It's going to move to Sunday, October 24th. So that will be the new Nashville date. My apologies to everyone. Obviously, there's nothing that I can control. It is what it is. Crazy times we're living in. But a wonderful, heartfelt thank you to modern medicine for pulling me out of this so quickly and easily. And my love to all of you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Mwah. Mwah. So, as you... okay. Where am I getting at this. So, Joe Rogan really pissed off the mainstream media with that video because he was essentially saying, I survived without your vaccine. Boom. And he's like, suck it. That's what he's basically saying. They were not too happy about that. CNN ain't too happy about it.
More breaking news this evening. Joe Rogan, an extremely popular podcaster, announced on social media today that he has COVID. Rogan has said young, healthy people don't need to get vaccinated. In his statement on social media, Rogan said he has taken several therapeutics to recover.
Turns out I got COVID. So we immediately threw the kitchen sink at it. All kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything.
One of those drugs he mentioned, ivermectin, is something more often used to deworm horses. CDC says there's no evidence it works on COVID. Its increased usage has only led to a substantial increase in overdoses after a push by some on the far right, citing vaccine misinformation. Perspective now from our chief media correspondent and anchor of CNN's reliable sources, Brian Stelter, and Dr. Lena Wen, CNN medical analyst and former Baltimore health commissioner. Brian, this is obviously someone who has said on his podcast that healthy young people probably don't need to get vaccinations. What's he saying about his condition?
Yeah, and he is one of the most influential figures in all of media, especially among young men. He has a podcasting deal with Spotify worth $100 million. But in the past, he has downplayed the vaccine. And in this case, he seems to have admitted he has COVID because it's hurting him in the pocketbook. He had to postpone or reschedule one of his upcoming stage shows. So you'd think the economic consequences might get people's attention and make people think, make his fans think differently about the threat of COVID. But he's trying to portray this as if he is feeling better now, he's doing better now because of this cocktail of drugs and medications that he has taken. Of course, some of these are under emergency use authorizations. Others have been, discouraged by the CDC and the FDA. But when you have a horse deworming medication that's discouraged by the government, that actually causes some people in this crazed environment we're in to actually want to try it. That's the upside down world we're in with figures like Joe Rogan.
I like how CNN's all like, oh, the economic impact. Oh, that's like, shouldn't he have known? Like, oh, it's like, dude, he's worth millions and millions of dollars. Stop being so jealous of him. And second of all, I just had to point out, he was not using horse dewormer. He was using a human pill of ivermectin. Da-da-da! Da-da-da! I'm CNN. I'm CNN and I don't know the difference between horse medicine and a human medicine.
Well. If it isn't old horseworm Rogan. I'm glad you're well, man.
Bro, do I have to sue CNN?
I don't know, do you?
They're making shit up. They keep saying I'm taking horse dewormer. I literally got it from a doctor. It's an American company. Mm-hmm. They won the Nobel Prize in 2015 for use in human beings.
Yeah.
And CNN is saying I'm taking horse dewormer.
Yeah. What? So
they must know that that's a lie.
Well, there's a lot of people saying it.
Right, but a lot of people can say it.
Okay.
Like the internet says it. Who cares?
Sure.
But CNN is saying it. Like Jim Acosta say that's horse dewormer. I can afford people medicine. This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
I don't think anyone is
But don't you think that a lie like that is dangerous on a news network when you know that they know they're lying? You know that they know that I took medicine. Like, here it is. This is ivermectin.
You got
this
it with
right
you.
Here. Somebody gave it to me.
All right, hang on. The thing is, we're like going so fast. Like I feel like I'm missing.
Do you think that's a problem that your news network lies?
Well, I don't.
Dude,
what did they say?
They lied and said I was taking horse dewormer. First of all, it was prescribed to me by a doctor.
Yeah.
Along
they
with
shouldn't have said
a
it was
bunch of other medications.
If you got a human pill, because there were people that were taking it, the veterinary medication, and
You're not, obviously. You got it from a doctor, so that it shouldn't be called that. Ivermectin can be a very effective medication for parasitic disease. And as you say, it's probably, I think what, 250 million people have taken it around the world?
More,
I get that.
Way more.
So
way more. Billions of people have taken it.
Can I just come back to the one I want to talk about? Two things on the ledger.
You have, before we get to that, does it bother you that the news network you work for out and out lied, just outright lied about me taking horse dewormer?
They shouldn't have said that.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You didn't ask? You didn't think that was you're the medical guy over there.
I didn't ask. I should have asked before.
But they did it with such glee.
No,
yes,
Joe.
They did. COVID stuff.
Something you said, vaccine stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's always vaccine stuff. That's the most religious issue we have today. People behave like it's a religion.
They really do.
They really do. It's the strangest fucking thing. Like there's all sorts of diseases that no one cares how you treat it. As long as you treat it and you get better, they're happy.
Right.
But not this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Joe Rogan rips him a new one. He's like, screw you guys. I can afford... Imagine this was ivermectin. I can afford the human ivermectin. That's what Joe Rogan was basically saying. So, now... we go on to the most unfunny SNL skit I've ever seen. Are you ready for it? Are you ready? What in the world is going on with his fingers? It's like his fingers are super glued to the fucking bags. I don't understand what he's doing here. Watch this shit. Like what? Watch this. What are you doing with your fingers, dude? Like, what is going on here? What was that? What the hell was that? That's SNL. It doesn't even make any fucking sense. Last but not least, we have this yahoo. Cenk Uygur, which is an ultra-liberal guy, okay? The first tweet is at the bottom. From Mr. M. I'll make a $1,000 donation to your trash network or your charity of choice to see you call Rogan, who is not only the most successful podcast in history, but also a black belt in mixed martial arts, a loser to his face. Now Cenk responds by, deal. Easiest $1,000 I've ever made. You think he is going to assault me? First of all, if it's an agreed fight, it's not an assault. So I don't know what he's talking about there. Sure, whatever. That's incredibly dumb, but also wouldn't work. Well, yeah, you're a coward. I'm much larger than Joe, and I've fought my whole life. I'd end him. But grown-ups don't do that. I'll send you the P.O. box to send check to later. This whole tweet just doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't even make any sense. So that was that. But wait until you watch this. Just watch this video, okay? This is Joe Rogan kicking a punching bag. And I guarantee you're not going to want to fight Joe Rogan after watching this video.
Straight line. Straight line. Straight. Straight line. Always straight.
Fucking crazy.
and when you finish, I think that's your.
Yeah, Jink, you would be dead. Don't fight Joe Rogan. Don't fight him. He'd just do one kick to your gut and it would explode. Don't do it. I would highly recommend not to do it. Now, that was the show. Hopefully it doesn't get deleted off of YouTube. Hopefully everyone has a great old day. And remember, if the video gets deleted off of YouTube, you go to my website, maxfreedom.news. Boom. You got it. Great. Awesome. You guys are wonderful. I love you all. That was kind of awkward.